Paramount Pictures is currently filming a major motion picture in North Georgia called
Very interesting things which you'll see once you check out that movie.
We generally work on a few different types of projects. Obviously, we do a lot of short films.
Michael, how did you get started in filmmaking?
A very large part of the success of any project.
And I started my filmmaking career actually on a cruise ship making short films.
Wow. I'm the executive producer to our new feature film, The Common Denominator.
Tell us a little bit about your character in the film.
She's really upset from the beginning, from the get-go.
Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, basically, I somehow started acting in 1992.
Hello, I am Maricela Soto, and we are here at Creative Studios of Atlanta with CEO Ken Feinberg. Thank you, Ken, for joining us today. I want you to begin by telling the audience what you use this facility for.
The purpose of this facility is we're predominantly a casting services. We have 3 different casting suites that are available for rent. We have the Buffy the Slayer suite, we have the Rodney Dangerfield Resort, and this we're in today is the Randy Randolph Studio. And people can rent the studios and do their own castings, or they can hire us to do the castings. We've cast commercials, we've cast TV pilots, we've cast films, we've cast print. I think you've been here for a few auditions.
Yep, had a great experience.
And we're happy to do that. We also have had productions in this room. I think the man behind the camera there has shot some productions in here, as well as other people in town have rented this space out, and they've put sets in here, and they've shot in here, they've hung lights, and you know, it's a nice, affordable studio. It's not a humongous, sound stage, but it's a nice size facility for a smaller scale production. We even have the wall here can be used as a blue screen. We had one, the E-Company store came in here and they used this without bringing a separate blue screen, which has been very nice for them. We also have some production offices for rent, and we do have a few acting, screenwriting, and directing classes and production classes here, as well as workshops. We've had industry guests from Los Angeles, New York come in. We had Mike Fenton, who's a big-time casting director, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., Godfather 2, Chinatown, and the list goes on and on and on. He was here talking to local actors about acting and auditioning and working in film. We had Alan Hooper here from Ugly Betty, who's been here 3 times already. We had Jeffrey Soffer, who's the manager of casting for ABC TV from New York, who's been here. And we had Gary Anthony Williams here, who was a series regular on Boston Legal. He was on Malcolm in the Middle and Undercover Brother and Soul Plane and so on. He was great. So we constantly try to bring outside people in. Like the things that we're offering the actors here and the writers and directors and things like that are, all these things that happen out on the West Coast, business tactics of going to work as an actor or a writer or director, and how to apply that here in Atlanta. And I'm saying it in my classes that I teach, but also bring in outside professional people with big credits that will say basically the same thing that I'm telling local people. How is it to go to work? What do you need to do to work in the entertainment business? And to that effect, I'm going to Cannes in May, and I'm taking 8 or 10 people with me who want to learn, who are ready to make a breakthrough to a bigger level. So it's really 2 months of individualized coaching, and then go over to France, pitch your script, sell yourself as an actor or a director, bring your film, if you have a film, get distribution, work that angle of it, because it's more of I'm offering, my professional experience as a producer and a director and a writer, and I have a gift that I'm sort of sharing, as far as teaching and letting other people know what to do when you have a certain product that you're trying to sell in the entertainment business.
So it sounds like you offer a lot of extensive services to the Atlanta community. How receptive would you say that they've been?
It depends. Most people that come here have been back. Like they come here, they have this tremendous experience, they learn a lot, and they come back for another class, another workshop, or they come in for auditions, they book stuff. There are a lot of people, there are some people that come when we do only something that is free. Something free, they show up, but anytime there's anything else, you have to put out $20 for or something, or more than that, they don't come back. And then there's people who have never been here, they don't know what we do, or they've come for auditions, but they've never been sitting in one of our classes. I just got a phone call this morning from one of my acting students. She just booked a film. Another one of my acting students that was in my class in the fall I got an agent in town, and she booked a national commercial the next week.
Oh, wow.
So when my actors tell me this stuff, it really makes me feel good to know that the things that they're learning, they're applying outside the room. And that's the gist of what I'm trying to get across to people, is skills that you can take and apply outside the room and go to work.
So how important would you say that it is for an actor to take this workshop? Is it crucial? Will it help them?
Maybe. It depends on the actor. I can't say that you have to take this workshop. There are plenty of places to go and learn. There are people that you can learn from. People that can come and learn from me, I want them here, or if they feel like they can learn from me, they should be in my class. If they feel like they can learn somewhere else, they should go somewhere else. But that's the beauty of having opportunities with people like myself, or people like Gary Anthony Williams, or Mike Fenton, or Alan Hooper, or Jeffrey Soffer, that they have an opportunity to learn from people who actually do this every day. Alan Hooper casts actors every day. Jeffrey Soffer casts actors every day. Gary Anthony Williams works as a series regular and has gone out into LA and auditioned and worked and booked, and he was sharing his insight and knowledge. So if you're an actor who is ambitious and wants to learn and wants to work, then you would be at every one of my workshops.
So how would an actress like me sign up? How would I find out about these workshops? Where would I go to?
You can go to creativestudiosofAtlanta.com. You can email me at creativestudiosofAtlanta@yahoo.com. You can sign up for our email blasts that come out. One of the other things that we do every month is in conjunction with the nonprofit Georgia Big Picture Conference. We have a monthly educational series where every month we present some professional aspect of this business for pittance, for $20, for people to come. Last month we had 9 of Atlanta's most working actors come and do a roundtable talk and answer questions about how to work in Atlanta. We had Mike Panuski, we had Wilbur Fitzgerald, we had Rick Wrights, we had Deborah Duke, the list goes on and on. We had Steve Coulter, we had the top acting talent in Atlanta in this room answering questions from local Atlanta actors. Next Monday night, we have the top networking gurus coming in, and she's going to teach us how to network, how to make the most of your business opportunities when you're at a Women in Film event, or you're at a film festival, you're at a business function, whatever, a film premiere, how to network, how to get cards, how to interact with those people so that you can capitalize on it and create that relationship and make it stronger. Mm-hmm. In March, we have Peter Levy coming in, who teaches mythic structure for screenwriting, the hero's journey, Joseph Campbell, all that sort of stuff, Star Wars, that kind of stuff. What is that mythic journey of the hero's journey? And he's doing an evening of, for $20, which is great. And the actors that have come in, they've already expressed they want to come back and share more of their experience. And that's really what it's all about. Is when I was young, there was no one around that would say, hey, here's some knowledge that you can take and to make your dream come to you faster. And that's really the foundation of this studio, is how can we share knowledge with people to make their dreams come to them sooner. Right. And so whether you want to be a writer or a director or an actor or a producer or assistant director or anything else, what can we do? If we don't offer a class here that you want to see, you can email us and say, I'd really like to see a class where I can learn how to be an assistant director. And then we could get a top working professional assistant director to come in and teach you, hey, this is how to do it.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to sign up for one of those classes, the acting in particular.
One thing I do want to say, on Sunday the 24th of February this month, we have a one-day intensive on directing, how to save time, money, and energy when directing. And I'm going to share my secrets of how we shot this 30-page script in 4 days, because we were so organized, we worked well as a team. We got this one, got this one, got this one, got this one. On the last day of production, we shot 11 scenes. We did 38 camera setups and 111 takes.
Wow. Now, you don't just instruct these classes. You also have acting, directing, producing experience. You just did a film, Foreign Exchange. Can you tell us a little bit about your projects and work you've done in the past?
Yes. I grew up acting, and I have a filmmaking degree, and I had a production company for a long time. I've lived in New York and LA, and I've worked there as an actor and a writer and a director. And when I was in LA, I acted on TV series, I think I mentioned before, Buffy and Star Trek and Charmed and Alias and so on. And I directed films, won some awards, and then I came back to Atlanta just a couple of years ago and opened this studio. And now I'm directing, I just directed this film, Foreign Exchange, which we're taking to Cannes. I took 2 films to Cannes last year. And we're working with local crews and local actors. And this film that we shot was on the Red camera, which I'll get into in a second. The whole Red camera is the newest and latest technology in filmmaking. And with the studio, I'm teaching some of the classes, and I have outside professionals coming in teaching some of the classes. So we have experts in other fields coming in to teach their thing, because I can only teach you what I know.
Right.
I know directing, I have acting experience where I've done guest star, co-star roles on television, acted in feature films that have won awards, produced and directed theater and film and television. That's where my expertise is. So like Robert Ballantyne, I've talked to him. He is a working AD in the Southeast, and he worked with me on some other projects in the past, and he'd like to come in and teach an AD workshop. So we're in the plan putting that together, because he said to me, we need more ADs in this area that know what to do. People think they're an AD, but they really don't know what to do. That's probably why he works so much, is because nobody else knows what to do.
Right.
He's going to share his knowledge, which is very nice. In my acting classes that I teach, there's several skill sets that actors need to have. I make sure they know their business and marketing skills. What are they selling and how are they selling it? Most actors are completely clueless about this. When their headshot comes in, either people look at it and they say no, or they look at it and they say yes, and when you come in, if you don't look like your picture, you're a no. So that can count against you 2 ways. So you want to make sure that what you're selling is reflected in your business materials, which is your headshot, your resume, your cover letter, your demo reel, your postcard, your business cards, your website, all that stuff has to be a sales and marketing piece designed to sell you, to get you work.
Right.
And a lot of actors are pretty clueless about that. I was clueless about it for a long time, and because of my look, the height and the shaved head and everything, and what I wanted to do was not congruent to what my look was saying to people. So I really had to figure out how to navigate myself through that. And now that I know how to do that, I can teach it to others.
Wow.
And that's just the first stage of my acting class. Then I get into how to deal with agents, you know, what to do when you have an agent meeting, how to get an agent. And I talk about casting offices, what to do when you're in the room. It's not just about the read. There's so much that happens in the room that's more than just the read. You have to be prepared for the read, but there's more of the stuff that happens. And when you get a call back, it's a little bit different than the initial read. And also on the set, you know, what happens when you book a job and you actually go on the set? Who do you talk to? What do you do? Do you just show up and say, hi, I'm here? No, there's certain things you have to do. As a matter of fact, Rick Wrights is a local actor. He works a lot. And he has a class that I'm trying to get him to come in and teach about what to do when you're actually on a set that will get you invited back to the set again. And I want him to come in and do that. So Rick, if you're watching this, let's put it on the calendar.
So you had mentioned, you know, you've worked in LA, you've worked in New York. Why Atlanta? Why set the studio up here in Atlanta?
Atlanta is my home. I was born and raised in Atlanta. I went to school at the University of Georgia. My family's here, my parents are here, my niece and nephew here. That's a lot, but you know, after 10 years in LA, it's like I needed a break. You know, you can only take LA in so much. If you've ever lived there, you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
It's, you know, and New York is even worse because you have to be, because it's smaller, more condensed. You have to be on all the time. And I am a spiritual kind of person. I like to be myself all the time, and I don't like to put on airs and say, try to be whatever. You know, I want to be me. And so at least here I can live a lifestyle that's a little more relaxed. I'm contributing, I'm giving back to people, coming up. You know, if I was 18 or 20 or 25, you know, and I had met someone like me, I think my career would have been a little bit different than it was. But in many more ways, I'm thankful that it was exactly how it was, because it brought me to this point where I have, you know, my family, and I have the studio, and I have some really good friends.
Great. Well, can you tell us real quick, last question, what are some of your goals with the facility? Where do you see yourself in the future here?
I'm working with some people now to get some funding behind the studio so we can make much larger films and television shows. You know, small budget stuff is great, and I've sort of made a living on small budget stuff to this point where I've had a limited amount of money or a limited amount of time, and you really have to know your stuff. You'll have to be organized, because for every dollar you spend in pre-production and planning, you will save hundreds if not thousands of dollars on the set when you're shooting, because everyone's there, everyone's getting paid on those days. So I'm having conversations with potential investors to back the studio, back some of my film projects. I teach an ongoing writing class now. I've been teaching screenwriting in town for 3 years now, and I have students, and I have ongoing, and some of those scripts that come out of those classes are phenomenal, and I want to get behind some of those if I can. Wow. And so when I talk to these people, I say I have these kinds of things, and the kinds of films that I want to make are films that have positive impact on people, whether they're family films, whether they're comedies or romantic comedies or spiritual films, meaning not religious but very, feel good is the right word, but something, when you watch a movie, you're loading your unconscious with information.
Very true.
And I'm like, why, there are certain films that come out, like, why would anybody go see that and load that kind of information into their computer in their head? And the kinds of things that I want to make are things that will load things into your unconscious that help you become a better person and help you have better relationships with people. You know, like I watch these movies, and go, you know, they just would say, hey, you know, this is bothering me. You know, but then, you know, I mean, that's probably why I'm not in Hollywood now, because where I'm sitting is a little different than where Hollywood is sitting. So.
Yeah, you probably can't even watch a film or a TV show without critiquing it, right?
Yeah, you know, as a matter of fact, I was listening to some music today, and instead of listening to the whole music, I was listening to just the oboe or listening to just the saxophone, like separating everything out.
Well, see, all your experience, now you have to dissect it. What are they doing right? What are they doing wrong? They could be doing this on the set instead. We're
editing Foreign Exchange right now, and I just got some of the first rough cuts back, and I'm looking at them, and I'm sitting back the editor going, okay, I want to cut in here or cut in there, or this has to be reversed, or you have to find different takes because the actor is a little flat in their delivery on the line, you know, and I can't have that. So, you know, I'm real meticulous about that. So on Foreign Exchange, what was really nice was Jim McKinney was the DP, and Aaron Siegel was our sound operator. He's also one of the producers, and Aaron was great. Like, Aaron would be listening very attentively to the sound, making sure it was clean, crisp, all that sort of stuff. And Jim would be watching the image, make sure it was lit properly, and everybody looked good, and the framing, all that sort of stuff. And I was watching all that too. And of course, that's important to me. That's secondary to the performance, because I want to make sure that actors hit their emotional level, their emotional intensity, and that's what I'm looking for, that those two guys can't see. And so as a team, it makes it really strong. And if you're going to make a film or you're going to make a video or something, you really need a strong team, because it's not about the filmmaker, it's not about the actor, it's about the team. And one of the reasons why we were able to shoot 30 pages in 4 days was because not just the three of us, Aaron and Jim and I, but everybody on the team, you know, the key grip and the gaffer and the PAs and the craft service, everybody, we're all working together so that we could get what we needed to get. You know, when we needed a light, they were there with the light. When we needed a gel, they were there with the gel. We didn't have a lot of time to sit down on this shoot.
It's a team effort.
Yeah, and we got this one, okay, we got that scene, we go, okay, the next scene is this. We rehearse it, we send the actors out, they light it, I'm over here in the basement coaching the actors. And then when they're ready or we're ready, we come back in and we shoot it. We get that one. We do the different angles, and then, you know, what's the next scene? We go move on to this, and we rehearse it, and we, you know, the same thing, just over and over. And then my AD came in with the call sheets, and he had a call sheet from another movie he worked on. And I looked at the call sheet, and he goes, "What? You only did 3 scenes and 2 5/8 pages? You guys are slackers." And it's like that's kind of where I'm sitting, because every film I've made, it's been like you have to be organized and shoot 8 pages or 10 pages a day, because you have to do it. And so I rehearse all my actors before we get there, so they all know the emotional places they need to be in that moment. And then the lighting people, we work with them, you know, get them knowing what they need to do. When I directed this film, Coming Clean, in LA, there was actually 2 days we actually wrapped early because we made our day. was like, this is what we're going to get, boom, 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 boom.
Right.
The crew knew what we were going to get. They knew what the next shots were, so we just went right through them. Once they were finished, everybody could go home. We wrapped early, what can I say?
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ken, so much for joining us on Rural Hollywood. And once again, can you tell the audience if they wanted to reach you or get in contact with you, where would they go?
Okay. If you want to get in contact with me or the studio, you can call 404-355-4588. Our website is creativestudiosofatlanta.com. Our email is creativestudiosofatlanta@yahoo.com. And if you're on MySpace, you can go to myspace.com/Atlantic Station Studios, which is our former name. And also you can go to myspace.com/Ken Feinberg Films, which has the 2 films I just took to Cannes last year. And the newest website is myspace.com/Foreign Exchange Movie, which is specifically for the comedy we just shot on the Red camera. And real quickly, let me go back and say one thing about the Red camera. The Red camera is the latest and cutting-edge technology. The first one came out last October 2007, and we shot on number 43. And all these cameras are made, handmade, and the quality is amazing. It's equivalent to shooting super 35mm film, and except instead of it going on film, it went on a computer chip. And this computer chip went down into the Mac computer and downloaded, and then it's right there instantly.
Oh, wow.
Now the sound you have to do separately. Aaron Siegel was our sound mixer. He recorded everything on a DAT, and the sound came out great. The camera that we used came from Joe Kleber at Raw Acquisition Warehouse, and that camera is amazing. And Jim McKinney DP'd it, and you can put any lens on there. We shot with some really great 35mm lenses, and Day One supplied us with our lights. Thank you to them. You know, they didn't give them to us, but they worked with us. They worked with us, and we're very thankful for that. And so now we're in the editing right now. Jerry Adams is editing, and we're going to get it packaged up, and we're going to take it to France in May.
Great.
You want to come?
Maybe Rural Hollywood can get a quick, sneak peek. Oh, and yes, I'd love to come.
Okay. The Rural Hollywood Cannes edition. All right?
There you go. Well, Ken Feinberg, everyone with Creative Studios of Atlanta, plans on making Atlanta the next Hollywood, but more down to earth.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.